So I'm Judy, and I'm the director of Warrior One and one of the lead teachers for the Mindfulness and Law Teacher Training. And the other three lead teachers are Elisa Gray, who co-founded the program with me, and Gulu Singh, who's been involved since our second iteration of the program, which was in 2018. Our first iteration was in 2016. So this will be our sixth iteration and our 12th year. And then our fourth lead teacher is Chris Punangbayan. And Chris runs California Change Lawyers, which you may know about that organization. Well, yeah, Lynn, you probably wouldn't, but it's the organization that supports public interest lawyers in California. And this is an amazing team. I'm super excited to be teaching with this team. It's already been so much fun. We consider all of us to be teachers and all of us to be teaching and learning together. So
I'm Kenneth Chu. I'm an attorney here in Los Angeles. I work with the district attorney's office. I'm a criminal prosecutor, and I've been meditating for a little over a decade, sort of personally. Probably took it a lot more seriously the last 5 or so years, and it sort of brought me closer to MLTT about 2 years ago when I kind of wanted to do something a little bit more structured to get a little bit more education. I am just recently finished with the program, and just by way, I sort of do a little bit of MCLE or legal education here in California for competence, which can incorporate wellness. So I do that on the side, and I lead my office's afternoon meditation once a week on Wednesdays. So that's kind of how I've been incorporating some of the teachings of MLTT.
You as Chris, one of the returning teachers. Amber and Lynn is one of those persons that I was talking about, those long-term relationships that I built and that I wouldn't have met him anywhere. Our path would have never crossed. Same with Ken, right? And now I feel like we're like really close and like we really enjoy each other's company when we come together in person. And that was a beautiful part about Ken's cohort, that it was in person, one retreat. Whereas my cohort 2022, it was all virtual. So we never got to meet in person, but I can see the beauty of it. In this cohort, it's going to have two in-person retreats, which I'm super excited about that because I think that
Good thing with our program is it's a bit more of a balance of actual sort of learning, but a lot of it is really doing. And so to your question of you get both. You do get actual lecture type knowledge, but there's a lot of doing. And when you come out of it, you have that experience of both the practical and the sort of the academic. So then
so MLTT was this sort of, I could say brainchild, but that makes it sound like it was, but it was really just a, gosh, could we do this? Could we serve our profession at this level? And in doing that, could we invite all of these, yes, A-type personalities, because it's true that many lawyers are like that. Could we invite that group to drop into our bodies? Could we embody that with each other? There is teaching that's, formal teaching where there'll be a pocket of time where one of us will be offering a teaching. But there's also a lot of interactive work, and everyone is in a practice group. And what we see is so much gratitude and so much of like shedding the skin and taking off the masks and pulling. We talk a lot about pulling back the curtain. And so, like, maybe I would be doing a teaching on metta, right? On loving kindness. And then, sure, but right in the middle of it, I might say something like, this is a really hard practice for me because of this legal training or because of this early childhood stuff or whatever. So we're really reimagining a way to be in the law. I feel like, working with the lawyers is really about saying, if we have this level of influence, how do we want to use it? Who do we really want to be in the world? This is our default mode, and we'll talk about that. But then now we get to choose. And what do we want to choose? And then we say that with you, and then you say that with each other, and then you go out into your communities and say that.
The information that we get obviously is not geared toward lawyers, but it is taught in kind of like what Judah's saying in the language of attorneys, like the way we might break things down. It is helpful to have lawyers teach us so that they kind of know how we may break things down or the specificity that we might sort of bring to learning. So I think that is the positive versus having a non-lawyer teach, and we may have that disconnect of how we learn versus how they teach.
You just need to facilitate yourself into a position where you feel comfortable leading now. And it's going to happen. And I know it will, especially when you have the time. But all this to say is like invest now in the flowers that will grow later. Plant the seeds now for your garden later, and you're gonna get the benefits off of it no matter what.